this live. It is day 3, Trust, this free online series with myself, Amy Shine. Thank you for being here. We have been playing with this topic of trust for the last few days. If you've missed any of the videos, you can get the replays when you register on my website. Go to www.amyshine.net events and you'll see it there. You can register, or someone may post the link in the chat here. There's also the link above in the class description or the text. The link is there. If you're watching on YouTube, hi. If you're watching on Telegram, hi. If you're watching on Facebook, hi. Thanks for being here. I hope you're getting something out of these few days. I know I am. Actually, a lot of things are being revealed to me in my dreams as well. Something I've done a lot lately is when I go to bed at night, I ask to work through things in my world, in my dreams. So maybe things that are incomplete in my world, or things that still come up from childhood or whatever it is. I ask for that to be completed through my dreams. So I have had a lot of things come up around trust this week, and just looking at where I stopped trusting me. And today we're going to talk about trusting spirit. The first day we talked about trusting ourselves, and yesterday we talked about trusting other people. And today I really wanted to look at this energy of, okay, we talk about universe, we talk about consciousness, and we talk, you might say, some people refer to spirit, some people refer to source. Ultimately, what is the energy that's guiding your life? And do you trust that? Or do you even allow an energy that is spirit energy, source energy, consciousness energy into your life? Or do you try to control everything? So getting familiar around what these energies are for you. So I would speak a lot about consciousness and universe in the last 10 years. Before that, I went to AA. So when I went to AA, it's a spiritual program, and they tell you to find a higher power. It could be anything that's greater than you. It doesn't have to be a God, right? However, when I went to AA, it was a God of your own understanding. That's what it was. So it was like surrendering your will, over to a power greater than yourself. That was one of the steps in AA. I might be wording a little bit off now, but yeah, it was like ultimately surrendering your power, or not even surrendering your power, but surrendering your will, was really just saying, like, let go of control. Like, you are not always the one in charge. There is an energy, there is a source, there is a spirit greater than you, guiding you. And that doesn't mean greater than you, you're now less than that energy. It just means, like, you don't have to do it all yourself. And that's the thing with trust. Like, when we have no trust, we have to do everything ourselves. We are alone in this insular world, and we don't trust the universe. We don't trust consciousness. We don't trust spirit. We don't trust source. And when we don't trust that, we don't allow it in. So now we're trying to micromanage absolutely everything in our world and in the world. It's exhausting. I know, because I did it. So I spent a few years, the first probably year in AA, like looking for like this, trying to surrender my will to this power, this higher power, this God of my own understanding. And for me, it was really hard because I grew up Catholic, because I grew up with a Catholic influence. My family weren't big in religious or anything, but I went to a Catholic school. We had all the prayers, we had all the choir singing and everything. And some of it was beautiful. But I still had this image, because, my grandmother's house and all the houses you'd go to, it's like this image of Jesus, this image of God. And it was always a man in this cloak or whatever looking down on you. So I always, whenever it was like, pray to God or surrender my will to God of my understanding, I still saw this man. I still saw this man standing over me, looking down on me. And it wasn't until I went to a Kundalini yoga class in Cork many years ago. And I was sitting in that class, and I think it was like my second time doing Kundalini yoga. And she started doing this breath work with us. And there was a moment where my breath finally connected. Like, it was like it went from like just the breathing kind of being like something I was doing outside of me to it just something connected where my mind connected to my body, connected to my breath. And it was like this, it was like mind, body, spirit connection all at once. And it was like, wow, it was like this moment of a total inner knowing. Oh my God, higher power is within me. Spirit is within me. It's not outside of me. I've been looking outside of me for this. And that was a massive, that was it. One moment was a game changer for me. And that's when, that was the moment I stopped looking for God as this like person outside of me. And I started getting, oh, this is within me. And then when I started getting that it was within me and trusting that, then I actually started to allow it come from everywhere, because yes, spirit, source, God, consciousness is within you. And it also is everywhere, spirit can speak through people. Spirit can speak through, through different teachers, but that person is not spirit though. That's the thing. So here's what I've been seeing. I had someone on my call recently, call I was doing, and she said, whenever I get on these calls, I realize I feel like I know nothing and the facilitator knows everything. And I don't, and I said to her, so for what reason would you go to people, and for what reason would you make people greater than spirit or greater than source or greater than consciousness? And she said, or actually I can't even remember how I said it, but her basic thing was like, because I've made people consciousness, I've made people source. So, and it was an amazing moment because I got to see everywhere I did that, and everyone on the call got to see that. It's like, we've all done it, right? Because this person is maybe speaking and spirit is speaking through people, we then make that person source. But they're not. They're being a channel. They're being a spoke. They're putting into words and energy for you that you can receive from in that moment. But they're not God. They're not consciousness. They're not spirit. They're a mouthpiece for it for a moment in time for you. And so same for me. Like right now, I may be speaking some things that speak to you and that may assist you, but I'm not spirit. If I and I am, so that's the tricky thing. It's like I'm not, but I am, but I'm also embodied here. And I come with my own limitations and my own programs and conditioning and all that. So it's like looking at like, where have I made people God? Where have I made people consciousness? Where have I made people source and spirit? And where have I stopped trusting me and trusting my internal guidance system? And so if I'm constantly looking to people as my source for spirit or for consciousness, do I ever actually truly trust me? And do I ever actually truly trust people? And then do I ever really trust spirit? And lately I've been just, coming back to things that I probably let go of for a while. Like I do speak about consciousness a lot, and I speak about universe. Lately I've started to come back to speaking. For me, sometimes consciousness and universe is really, really large, really big. And so for me, I've come back to also my personal connection with different spirits that are very like personal to me. So spirit to me is a little bit more personal. Sometimes God even is a little bit more personal to me. When I was leaving my relationship, I started praying to God again, and not in the Hail Mary, like Our Father who art, like not the like prayers we used to sing off in school where we didn't mean anything, but really I started saying the serenity prayer again. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That just gives me a lot of strength. In that moment, it gave me a lot of strength. And so sometimes for me, it's also like finding my own personal connection. So what is your own personal connection with spirit or with God or with source. And is there anywhere like you've given it up because someone or something else is, you made someone or something else greater than that? Um, yeah. Ooh, wow. Just take a moment with that. So I went to Tel Aviv, Israel last April, and when I was there, um, I was swimming in the Dead Sea, and I really got like Mother Mary's energy really came in for me. And Mother Mary, again, it's for me isn't a religious image. I don't have a religious image of her. She was an energy that helped me a lot when in my early 20s when I was going through a psychosis. And I did pray to her a lot. It was more like a meditation for me. And she's been around me a lot. And I would say I let go of my connection to her in the last 10 years, in that I wasn't talking to her. I wasn't speaking to her. I wasn't reaching out to her. And it's interesting because like these spirits, you know, whatever you want to call them, energies, if we don't talk to them, we do lose that connection. Like it's like a friend. If you don't call a friend for 10 years, yeah, after 10 years, you know, you might not be as connected as you were when you were talking to them, you know, pretty regularly. So it's like I let go of a lot of this stuff, and lately I've been, you know, taking a lot of it back because I realized like I like talking to Mother Mary. Like and when I talk to her, her presence gets stronger in my world. And even when I now work with clients, like she comes into my sessions a lot. I ask her to come in. She works through me. And so I've started to like come back to like humbling myself, you know, that it isn't, before it was like, okay, I'm doing this energy work and I'm running these processes on you, but where's the energy coming from? Is it really coming from me, or is it coming from source, from spirit, from universe? And so by me going, okay, Mother Mary, and pulling and asking her to be here with me, or okay, spirit, source, whatever that energy is for me or for you, that personal energy for me, it humbles me in that it makes me realize I'm not doing this alone. And this isn't even me, and it is me, and it isn't me. And it's like allowing these spirit energies in, these source energies that you personally connect to. You know, you might not connect to Mother Mary, but maybe there's someone else you connect to. And maybe there is different spirits that work with you. And it's like, do you trust that? Are you willing to humble yourself enough to get out of the way and allow source, allow spirit, allow consciousness in? So, everywhere you think you have to do it all by yourself, that you are a one man or one woman show, and everywhere you have disconnected and separated from the spirits that guide you, and that you have a unique connection with, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate everything that is separating you from spirit? Whew. Wow. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all night shorts, boys, covids, and beyonds. So, what have you been told about source, spirit, consciousness that isn't true for you? Have you taken on other people's beliefs about source, spirit, God, consciousness, or any spirits that you're connected to? And that's where you give up trusting you, and then you give up trusting spirit because you take on somebody else's truth as your belief. Wow, would you be willing to let that go now? Everywhere you've been bombarding yourself with what everyone else thinks, what everyone else says, what everybody else is teaching. Would you be willing to come back to what is your knowing? What if what is your awareness? What is your connection? Have you made any person, institution, system, religion, group your source? Have you made people your source? And that was my question to that girl on the call was like, um, for what reason would you make people your source? For what reason would you not go to spirit, consciousness as your source? Have you been putting your trust in people and stopped trusting the source and spirit within you? Everything that is, would you release it now, destroy and uncreate it? Do you trust spirit? Do you honor spirit, source, consciousness? Do you have gratitude for spirit, source, consciousness? Do you include spirit, source, consciousness? And do you allow spirit, source, or consciousness to show you the way? And that's what, I was being shown, and I'm constantly being shown, is the surrender. You've got to surrender. And I used to think surrender meant quitting, but actually, surrender is letting go. And if I don't surrender, I'm doing control. And if I'm doing control, I'm not allowing spirit in. I'm not allowing source in. I'm not allowing consciousness in. I am trying to do it all by myself, figure it all out, get it right, make sure I'm not wrong. There's no surrender in control. So, can you surrender to spirit, source, consciousness? Truly, can you surrender? The there's a saying in AA that I really love is "Thy will, not mine, be done." And take a situation with my ex, who is in addiction and in denial. There was when I got to Taiwan, I was teaching a class there, and when I got there, I was really upset. I was going through, when I arrived, I just was going through a lot, and I was crying, and I just reached out, and I never really talked to Jesus. He's never been like, I love Jesus's energy, but it's never been. I've been more connected to Mother Mary, but I reached out and I pray. Like, I just start talking to Jesus, and I'm like, please, like, reach into this person that I care about, reach into their world and find them, help them, do something, And I really could feel like his presence when I reached out to him. But it was also at that point where, like, I was like, I can't do anything here. Like, this is not my will. This is his, what he's choosing is his choice, and he's choosing destruction, and that's his choice. And I can't control any of this. So this is the place where I have to surrender. I have to surrender that I want what I want for someone else. Maybe not their will. Maybe not God's will for them. And that's why I love it. Thy will, not mine, be done. You're like, whatever your will is for this person, let it be done. Like, and I'm going to get myself out of the way right now. Yes, I care about this person, and I don't want to see them destroy themselves. But if that's the will, if I don't know what God's plan is for this person, you know, and I don't know if that person, what that person is, what is gonna, I I can't control any of this. So complete surrender at this point. It's just like surrender. And at that point, usually at that point where I surrender, that's the point where I'm like, okay, thy will not mine be done. And that's the point where you let go of control. And that's the point where you let spirit in, where you let source, where you let consciousness in. So, can you let go of control, and can you trust to be guided by source and by spirit? So, what are you currently trying to control that you're not allowing yourself to surrender to and allow spirit and source to guide you? Are you trying to control your business? Are you trying to control money? Are you trying to control what happens tomorrow? I mean, my mother used to say, God laughs at your plans. And so for me, there's a surrender coming a lot more lately in that I can't control tomorrow. I can only be present today. And actually, I have 7 days of dancing with letting go starting on Monday. It's called a deep surrender because even with the emotional stuff that came up a lot this year, it was like I had to surrender into that as well. And I had to let go of control there as well and allow the emotions to be there and move through them. Like surrender. Because again, whenever the emotions come up, you go into like, the fear of whatever that fear is, fear of letting go, fear of what might happen, fear that you'll never have this again. Like all of that again is where you're not surrendering. People die because they're fighting to be right and they won't surrender. And it's only in that place of deep surrender where you allow God in, where you allow consciousness in, where you allow spirit in. How many of us are just trying to run the show? We're trying to do everything ourselves. We're trying to figure it all out. We're trying to micromanage everything, and it's exhausting. We've lost our humility. We've lost our gratitude. We've lost our surrender. We've lost our trust. We're not running the show. We're not running everyone else's show. Yes, we show up. Yes, we have to take action, but we don't have to control it all. Some of you might know I have 365 days of out of control clearings. It's been going on for 2 years. So if any of you are control freaks, you might want to join that group. It's free. It's on Facebook. But that's been a massive, unraveling for me as well. It's like the letting go of control. And see, when you don't trust, you have to control everything. So what spirits, what source energies are personal to you that you can connect to? For me, it's fairies, it's nature spirits, it's teammates, it's my spirit guides, it's Mother Mary, it's spirit, it's source. So, what are those spirits or source energies that you can connect to? And how much are you connecting to them? Do you talk to them? Do you ask them questions? Do you include them? You know that God, spirit, source won't intervene unless you ask them because you have free will. So if you want to try and control everything and do everything yourself, they're just like, okay, off with you. Best of luck with that. And they will not intervene unless you talk to them. Are you talking to the source energies and spirits around you? Are you including them? Do you surrender enough and humble yourself to allow them to assist you, to guide you, and to show you the way? Did you give up your unique connection to your sources of spirit to take on someone else's? Oh, wow. So now, would you be willing, would you be willing to take back your communion with source, with spirits, with the conscious spirits that guide you, that are unique to you, that are personal to you? Wow. And if you haven't given it up, but you would just like to strengthen that, would you be willing to strengthen the connection you have with spirits, with source energies? I used to talk a lot to angels. I have angel cards since I've been 16, and that was another thing I let go of a lot. I let go of talking to angels because someone said something about angels one time, and I took that on as a belief because I made that person greater than me. And then I started separating myself from the angels, which makes me really sad. That's really sad. But, okay, that's what I chose. Choice creates awareness. And angels never really left me. They were still with me, but I just wasn't talking to them and including them as much as I could. So, what did you give up on? Who did you give up on? What did you separate yourself from that you can now start to include again? Wow. And maybe that is taking 20 minutes a day to sit and just be and communicate with these spirits, whether it's angels or fairies or the art. I mean, the art is a massive source for me. Like, I've been facilitated so much by the trees and the ocean and the mountains. Like, the art is one of my greatest sources for consciousness and for oneness. And it's so alive. It talks to me all the time, but I talk to it. And that's the key here. I talk to the art. I talk to the trees. I ask the trees questions and then I receive. So what are you not talking to that you can begin to talk to again? And would you be willing to surrender? To allow these energies back into your life. And if they're already in your life, to allow them to become greater. Whew. Okay, guys. So I have two announcements I just want to make. Number one, I am going to be starting a monthly membership in October. I've been wanting to do this membership for a long, long time. It's called Unravel, and it's unraveling everything you think you are to find out who you truly are. We're going to be looking at a lot of different things, but it's going to be more of these energies that I'm talking about here today. Getting back to the truth of you, getting back to source, getting back to spirit, getting in communion with the nature spirits, with your spirit guides. We'll also cover a lot of other things like regulating your nervous system. I'll be covering a whole plateau of different tools that I've been using in my own life for the last however many years. It's going to include one Zoom call a month with me in a different topic we're going to cover every month, and then another second Zoom call every month. So 2 calls a month, which is going to be the inner dance energy activations that I've been exploring this last year. So you're welcome to check that out. Someone will post that link here, hopefully, to check it out. If you have any questions about the membership, please just message me. If you have any questions about the inner dance, message me. It's not a physical dance. I know a lot of you associate me with physical movement. This membership is not physical dance. want to physical dance during the inner dance, you can. It is a sound healing sensory journey. You do lie down. Some people move their bodies a little bit, but it's not required. Okay, number 2, we're going to have a bonus day tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to come on and we're going to do meditation, energetic trust exercise meditation. So that will be same time, same place here tomorrow. And then again, if you want the replays or recordings to any of these, you can just register on my website for that. So with that, I feel so much more relaxed since we had this conversation. I realized how much I haven't been allowing spirit, source, consciousness into my world. And you notice how when you actually just even ask for it, how your body changes, you get softer, you relax more, your whole system relaxes. That's the space from which I want to have my life and create my business and be in the world, right? Is with that energy. So thank you for being here with me and exploring this with me. Can the dance activations be done online? Yes. It's there. I would take out the word dance and just say they're inner energy activations. They activate you from the inside, and you lay down. It's a sound sensory healing journey. So if you've ever done a sound journey, kind of like that, but very different, it's really powerful. A lot of people have past life images. A lot of people start seeing things, or I don't want to get into like what might or might not happen, but think of it like a waking, lucid dreaming meditation. It's also known as CAP, Kundalini activation process, is what some other people have been calling it. It's a remembrance. Let's just put it that way. You start remembering who you truly are. That's really what it is. Okay, there's no words for it. Thank you. Yes, I don't know how to explain it. It's remembering who you truly are. It's coming back to spirit. It's coming back to source. It's coming back to the truth of you. And that's really what this whole year has been for me. So, and that's what the membership is created from. It's really created from this energy of like a space to be held, surrender, and allowing this spirit, this source energy into your world, and then really beginning to trust you, to know you, to know what you truly desire. Like, what are your dreams? You know, like one of the things I got to this year is like, whose dreams am I trying to live? Like, are these really my dreams, or are these someone else's dreams? Like, what is actually important to me? Is this really important to me, or is this what's important to other people? So I've made it important to me. And that's what this inner dance activations have done for me. And just all the work I've done this year is like really getting to the truth. What is true for me? So that's all I want for anyone. I think that's all any of us should want for each other, to live our truth. And that's where the trust comes, right? Trusting you, living your truth, not anyone else's, yours. Okay, I adore you. I feel like I'm ending today, but I'm not. We're going to be back tomorrow for one more bonus day. Thank you so much, everyone. Love you, adore you. See you tomorrow. Bye.